What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to episode 35 of the More Smarter Show with your hosts, Jake and Dylan. Jake, what do we have on the agenda today?
Oh man, we have a special episode today. A few reasons it's special. First off, we're recording right now on President's Day, which is a Monday, which we never do. We usually record on Wednesdays, throw it up on Thursdays. The reason is because we have someone who is in high school and he's off from school today. So we had to squeeze in a President's Day episode. And his name is my boy, Clinton Eppes. He's 18.
Yes,
he's a senior in high school. Clinton, why are you on the show today?
Well, really wanted to talk about how a lot of people really have an idea of what college does for them when in reality, you're really just taking a gamble. It's never really guaranteed on what you're doing when you go to college because you don't even know if you're going to be able to get the job you're aiming for after you get out of college. It's really gambling with what you're doing.
Totally true. So what we're gonna do, this will be a little bit of a different episode. We often talk to business owners, so Clinton is more of a future business owner. He's in February of his senior year of high school. So it sounds like, Clinton, you were telling me a couple weeks ago, and I was like, stop talking now. Wait for we're going to have you on the episode. But he was telling me that he might go to college. He might not. His friends are going to college. Some friends aren't. Just a classic senior year of high school dilemma that a lot of us have gone through. But real quick, before we get into your current dilemma, let's give the viewers and listeners some background of how we know each other. So how do we know each other, Clinton?
Yes. Well, it started way long ago, about 9 years? Ooh, a minute.
2017.
2017. About 9 years ago, there was this mentorship program. I think it's called the Big Brother, Little Brother program, something like that. And
Yes.
going out and stuff and just like get out and just like do stuff. And the relationship just stuck through the program. It just gave us a lifelong bond.
That's right. So Dylan, we both lived in Baltimore at the time. And 2017, I was 23 years old, maybe 24. Clinton was 9 years old, I think.
Yes, like
way.
Yeah. So Big Brother, Big Sister, I think it's called, the program. That's how we met. I got so lucky. Clinton's the first connection they made for me. I remember being so nervous when I was doing the application and like meeting the person who I might be connected with. And I remember I had the opportunity to be like, nah, like that's not a good fit. And I got really lucky with Clinton. You ever seen the movie Role Models? Either of you?
Yes.
So I was fearful that like one of these kids is gonna beat me up or something like that. Like I was scared. And then I meet this like mature 9-year-old who's respectful and all this, and I was like, all right, this is a perfect fit. Let's go. So Clinton was kind of like my mini me for 5 years or so, from 2017 and on. When I was in my 20s, so I would just pick him up like every weekend, and he would just hang out with my friends and I. Like, it's kind of that simple. It was awesome.
Wow. So it was literally, I forget the actor's name in Role Models. I know it's Paul Rudd and then the other guy.
Sean William Scott, I think.
You were him, yeah.
Well, it was both. It was both. I mean, or also neither, because it was one, voluntary, and two, I had an awesome experience from the start, never wavered from that. But I was a teacher and a coach, and Clinton would just come with me and be my assistant coach every weekend, practice or game. I would just pick him up and be like, Clinton, I'm picking you up at 10 a.m. He'd be like, all right. And then he would just like run practices with me when I was coaching high school baseball. He would, I would just pick up. Clinton's the best. He would always just be like, okay,
Yeah.
I'm ready. So I'd be like,
Yeah.
Clinton, I'll be there at 11, wear something athletic, and it's going to be a little cold, so bring a sweatshirt. He'd be like, okay. So we'd go play basketball. Then he'd go to my house, play my friends in video games all day. We would go to all-you-can-eat wings, and there would be 6 guys in their 20s and Clinton, who's like 10. And it was just like very normal.
Wow. That's
Can't forget
awesome.
the Chipotle burritos either.
Chipotle burritos. Yeah, I have some videos of little Clinton attacking some Chipotle burritos. We hit up some
Wow.
Ravens games, Orioles games, and some basketball games. Yeah, it was so our history goes way back, but then we both moved. So I moved back home to New Jersey, where I'm from. Clinton moved to Georgia. Both happened around 2020-ish, right, Clinton?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
So Clinton's that was around his high school age. So he went to high school in Georgia, and I've been there twice actually. I visited him in Georgia, so I went and saw him, and we played 1-on-1. I kicked his ass. and he's living it up in Georgia. So now we're okay. I brought us here to where we are as 18-year-old Clinton, 32-year-old Jake. So Clinton, your friends are in high school. Your friends are potentially thinking college. Where are you at right now? February of senior year.
So February of senior year, coming into my like second semester, I wasn't really like 100% sure what like locked in on what I wanted to do, but I knew like that college was like always a risk because for one, I do not like school, period. But I know that it's somewhat essential to like building blocks of what you're going to do in life. So I was like, okay, you know what? But I do have a real good connection with cars and real good hands when it comes to those things. So I said, okay, you know what? I'll take the different route. You know, football isn't guaranteed. Anything can happen, or I can get one injury and then I'm done. And then what's the backup? So I was like, you know what? We gonna pour into what I'm good at. So I was like, okay, I'll go to trade school. And I was doing a little interview for my trade, and I looked at the numbers. I was like, bro, I'm not paying that no amount of scholarships or 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 like grants can save me from debt. So I was like, yo, not happening. I'm still getting texts from this day from the recruiter about me trying to come to the school. I do not respond. So I decided, I was like, okay, I'll get a job and I'll go into the workforce first, like basically take a gap year before going to any kind of trade school or technical school, anything like that. Because at the end of the day, no matter how many scholarships and grants that I do have and I do get, it's still not going to be able to cover everything. And then I might come out of college or whatever trade school, whatever I'm coming from, to have to pay something. And that's never the goal because interest builds and rates get higher and higher, and then you're just never going to be able to pay it off. And then it's stuck with you for
Yep.
the rest of your life. And then you're messing up your credit and then whatever else you have going on, and then it hinders you. And then you just fall into a never ending hole. So I decided that I did not want to go that route. I do have options. I did actually just recently get accepted into Georgia State University, which is a
Let's
good school.
go.
It's
Okay. Okay.
for an undergrad program, um, having to do with audiovisual technology and film.
Yeah, that's good. And I'm about to say something that you probably won't get until maybe 5 years down the line, but something that I'm sure you know of Gary Vee. He will literally look at you and say, "You're a baby. You can fuck everything up for the next 10 years and you still have so much of your life left." I am usually not a proponent of that because, I want to just be young and get stuff done and, have my stuff together. But looking in your situation, every single entrepreneur, every single person that really watches this, our demographic is really anywhere between like in the probably the 20s. So everyone's looking back, smiling, thinking about your time right now. And you're in
Yeah.
high school, such a good time, enjoy the youth. But this is where everyone's, thoughts were that became a business owner, an entrepreneur. And it's just questioning the system, questioning where you'd want to go and all these great things. So I really love that you're thinking this way.
Yeah. I tend to go against the grain. I like to ask a lot of questions and really like question what is, because when you see a lot of people take the same route and they all end up different places and in different spots that they didn't plan on being in, it really makes you think. So I really just wanted to, go explore what's going on. I want to get everything together now. My view on things is if I get all of this done now, I'll be good later. I could spend the rest of my life doing whatever I want with whoever I want or however I want to do it because I set myself up for success early. Why would I wait 10 years down the road for messing my life up and just figuring things out as I go along when I could plan early and be successful later and do whatever I want?
Yeah. Love that. Wonder where you got that. Probably from me. I love it. So for context, Clinton, Dylan went to college for 1 year, right, Dylan, then dropped out?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. And that was about 5 years ago. So Dylan's in his early
That was like 3 years ago.
Okay, so Dylan.
All my friends graduated college this year. I had the same thought as you though, right? So when I was in high school, I had the very entrepreneurial spirit. I had this like fitness page where I was selling workout programs. I was selling merchandise. I was doing all this sort of stuff. But I love baseball. I played baseball in college from that first year. I wouldn't have gone to college, I don't think, if it wasn't for baseball. Grateful for the experience. after that first year, I stopped playing baseball, and I was like, "What's school for? Why am I doing this?" And I got right into real estate. But during that 1 year, it was number one independence, which was massive. I learned so much that year. But then on top of that, I was questioning everything just like you are, where I was like, because there's so many options, because I don't know what my next step is, because I'm not glued to this thing, baseball now, I have the freedom to do whatever I want to do. And I ended up just going the entrepreneurial route of, being in real estate, and it's, helped me out. And now that was in 2022. I made that decision. So I guess, yeah, May of 2022. So almost 4 years now.
I bring up the age because we're all different ages, right? So I'm in my 30s, Dylan's in his 20s, and Clinton is 18. So if you think about the history of internet and technology and now AI, we all are in different eras. AI is prevalent. Probably it touched Dylan's college career. Definitely is all over Clinton's college career, but it wasn't through mine. And in fact, I mean, social media was even new when I was in college. Like, it was newer, right? I went to college in 2011. Like, when was
That's
Twitter
crazy.
founded? 2009 or something. So, so like, we're right there. And I think the idea of college. Now, I don't. I want first of all, I want to stay neutral to this conversation and not, Dylan and I are not going to like advise Clinton of what we would do or anything like that. But I think it's important to understand the facts of where technology is. And I think when my brother went to college, who's 8 years older than me, in 2003, there was no internet, and you really had to get a degree, and you really had to have that resume to get a job. But then, like, people started creating their own brands through the internet. That was a little bit new when I was in college, and now it is completely here. And I feel like that is a huge point to make about where college stands on, in today's world.
I feel like nowadays college doesn't really symbolize what it used to. See, when the internet came along, there was a whole bunch of different things and a whole bunch of different new possibilities and aspects and ways to use it. Back in the earlier times, like early 2011, 2007, all those years, stuff like that, you really had to have the brain and the smarts to be able to be put through college. And then on top of that, you came out better than you were, because in that era, that was the thing, that was what set you up for life. But now, with everyone having their own brands, their own mindsets, and their own way of going about things, college is really just an idea. You like the idea of going to college and getting a degree and getting a good job, but it's not really essential anymore, given all the new factors that have been put into play.
And
Wow.
the access to information that we now have.
Exactly.
We could always Google or ChatGPT any question we have. We can listen to, billion-dollar CEOs talk about any topic we ask them to talk about. We can tweet at them. We can literally talk to them versus our professor, who doesn't have that same experience, who we have to pay to hear talk and lecture. I'm trying not to show my hand. I think I am a little bit, but those are just facts.
Your card's up right now. Your
Yeah,
card's up.
I have other things I could say in the opposite, but I think that's an important fact to determine.
Yeah.
I mean, so Clinton, with that being said, obviously you're going into different thoughts where, okay, if it's not college, it could be trade school. If it's not trade school, I know you said, obviously the tuition of both is going to be putting you into debt, as it is everyone who goes to
Yeah.
those schools. What is the third leg of that though? What is the other option?
Well, really, the other option is just really putting my head down and grinding everything out. Like, on top of those things, a lot of those things, like everything in this new world costs money, whether you like it or not. So you're always going to come out of pocket for some kind of something. It's just really the risk you're willing to take for the reward you're going to get in the end. It's all a real big gamble. On you gotta have a good perspective and a strong outlook on what you want to do. Put your mind to it, and then find the best way to do it.
I would argue that I'm tipping my hand again. Sorry, but I would argue that, Clinton, if any employer that of any job you were looking to get listened to this episode, you would be hired. No matter what your college experience is or isn't. That's the world we're living in. And that's kind of, I mean, it's a credit to you for being that mature without having to go to college to experience it, but that's really the truth, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I think we're probably another 4 years away from that legitimately being the truth. Right now, it's kind of more of an up in the air, kind of more of a risk if you don't go and then, trying to get those jobs. But I actually think that corporations are going to be taking college into their own hands and say, the government is giving them is giving colleges so much money for all this experience. Maybe we could just start recruiting high school. We can create a different branch, start recruiting high schoolers, and then put them in a 2-year long program like my girlfriend Kylie is in right now to just learn. And she's learning significantly more in the program that she's in for a year and a half than all of college, probably.
It's all going to intertwine. The whole NIL thing through sports. There's now high schools that prepare you for college as if it's the pros, like basketball specifically, I know of. And all of that, I agree, probably will intertwine. And I'm not making a prediction of what that means for colleges and the experience of it. I don't know, but it is an ever-changing world. Kind of like if you were going to college when my brother did in 2003 when Facebook was founded. You don't know when you're in it. You don't know what that college degree is really worth in 20 years because it is so ever changing at that time. And I do agree with you, Dylan, that right now is that AI, NIL, I could keep saying letters, is that time of what is going to happen. I don't know. Can you talk about the social pressures a little bit? Dylan, actually, I'm going to start with you and then Clinton. The social pressures of your friends going to college, your friends wearing the sweatshirt of their college on
Decision
senior day,
day.
decision
Yeah.
day, the Instagrams of being committed somewhere. Like talk about that.
Yeah, well, so playing baseball, the committed post on Instagram, big deal, massive deal. And so there was a lot of pressure there within the small like club baseball community. On top of that, though, high schoolers, if you were like, "Oh, you're going to trade school," like, "Oh, you don't know what you're doing, you don't know where you're going after after high school," but also that was 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago. I think times have definitely changed since then. But yeah, no, there was totally a pressure where, that I'm like vividly remembering decision day where everyone had their shirts on, they're taking pictures, doing all that sort of stuff. And it was like the one guy that wasn't even committed to go anywhere. He was just like off on the side somewhere, just like crying.
Yeah, Clinton, same experience.
Ain't there almost. Commitment day was a commitment day was a big thing for a lot of people, but I had to sit with myself and realize that like at the end of the day, even if I'm not on the bandwagon with all these other people who go into college to play all these other sports or just going to college, period, I gotta sit and realize that at the end of the day, it's never guaranteed. For all you know, you could end up washing out of college and then now you're in whatever you're in debt or whatever. So I have to focus on my route because I feel like a lot of decisions nowadays when it comes to like this specific period of life, like your high school period where you're just about to jump into the real world, are influenced by the people around you and what they're doing. I feel like a lot of people like to see that other people are doing this and that, so they try to do this and that too to stay on that bandwagon and kind of like ride their friendships out when in reality, it's really all based off of what you know you can do and how well you can do it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna play the other side a little bit because I feel like I am being one-sided. I went to college and loved it. And I was a little bitch before I went to college, and I came out just a little bit of a bitch, like less of a bitch. And I learned. I mean, even as something as simple as doing laundry and cooking meals, and socializing, and people I currently connect with and are friends with, and even have businesses with, I know from college, being in a fraternity and all those other things. And I went out of state, so I stayed there, met Clinton, because I stayed in Maryland. Like, I don't regret ever going to college, even though I had debt. I just think, like I said earlier in the episode, it is a different world than it was in 2011 when I went.
I think I was lucky enough, I guess, to experience the best of both worlds where I had a little bit. And I think that 1 year was crucial for me. Growing up and or being in a different spot than your parents for an extended period of time for the first time in your life is super, super important. And So that was one thing that I really took away with it. But one thing that Clinton is saying that, is interesting to me a lot is you keep saying that college is a risk. That's such a untraditional way of
That's
thinking
new.
about it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I love that. So like tell me your thoughts on that. Why are you saying that?
Well, when I say college is a risk, it's really just me elaborating on the fact that it's like it's never guaranteed. I know, like I have older friends who are in college right now, and they're telling me college isn't really that hard. You know, the classes are the easy part. It's just the social experiences and stuff like that that really puts a lot on you during college. But everything's a risk when you're in college. You're away from home in this new place you're unfamiliar with by yourself, trying to figure out the world, which is it's nothing to be taken lightly. I just don't think like it's a real big thing to be on your own for the first time because you're just now jumping into the new world, but you're still taking a gamble because who knows? Maybe when you get out of school and you finally graduate college 4 years later, AI is doing your job now. Now what? Now you're like, oh, what do I do from here? Or how can I put this skill that I just took 4 years to get a degree for and apply it in what I do in everyday life now and make money off of it? When technology is moving this fast, who knows what's going to replace your job? You have to put faith in your skills and what you know you can do and take the best route for you.
Damn. Dang.
That's getting me fired up.
Yeah, me
Clinton,
too.
let's go.
Shit. Damn. Damn. So Clinton, have you considered doing a little hybrid next year? Maybe moving out, but working instead of going to college?
Yeah, the plan was always to move. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be gone within like the next year or so. I'm really excited to jump into the real world and experience life in itself. Really, on a college campus, you're really limited by what's on campus. You know, you go out, you have freedom, but it's not like you're fully pushed out into the world yet. I'm ready to jump into the world, see what the world has to offer, and a lot of these different opportunities that come with it. So I'm just really ready to get up out of here. A job is a hard thing, long hours or whatever, especially with the trade I'm planning on going into. Blue collar jobs are not easy by any means necessary. They're really enticing. The risk, not the risk, but the rewards are very fruitful. You gain from the fruits of your labor. So I'm just excited to get into the real world and see what life has to offer.
Dylan, Clinton knows a sick amount about cars and like auto repair, and he probably would like fix my car when he was 10 too. Like my Honda would break down and I'd be like, Clinton, I need you to come over today. Like I don't know where he learns this stuff, but
That's crazy.
yeah. And Dylan, a little quick story. One time Clinton was like 10 or 12 or whatever age, and he said for his book report or some sort of report in school, when they asked him what he wants to be when he grows up, he said the governor of New Jersey. This guy's never been to New Jersey. but that's what we're dealing with. A guy who thinks like that. That's an entrepreneurial spirit. You know, he's not like, yeah, I'm gonna be like some, job in New Jersey. No, he's gonna run New Jersey.
Let's go. That's awesome. That's the spirit you need to have. You gotta think big with it.
1,000%, 1,000%. I think I try to set my sights high for a lot of the things that I do because I don't want to try to achieve a bar that's already been set. I want to push everything that I can and really just see how far it'll take me. Because at the end of the day, I am young, so I don't have that much to lose. It's really just me stepping out into the new world and finding new ways to do things that other people have not done yet, or think in ways that other people do not think, and just learn to see the world in a different perspective, in a different light than what everybody my age is doing because technology is advancing very, really fast, and a lot of things that come with that are new jobs and new positions, and then a lot of things do get replaced by the technology that we have now. Just got to see a different perspective on life and flip the panel.
Now, when I was like probably a junior or senior, there was a couple of kids that were like into crypto trading or said that they had like a e-commerce business that was like really big or like a drop shipping. So is that still around? Like I feel like there's got to be people
Oh
that do
yes,
that.
drop shipping and stuff like that is very much still very around, and it's very, very good for you if you know what you're doing. Um,
Day trading
I
too, I'm sure, is a big one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I actually know a couple people who actually do day trade. right now in high school, and he's actually younger than me, a grade under than me doing this. And I was like, yeah, that's cool. No, I just don't think that's my cup of tea. I don't see
But
myself getting
you know what's awesome though is like traditionally the people who are younger and they have this free spirited like entrepreneurial spirit, they shoot for things like that are like this seem a little bit more flashy. You're thinking, yo, I'm gonna go blue collar job, I'm gonna become like, you know, I don't know, maybe one day you're gonna own like multiple auto body shops. I don't know what if that would be like the goal, but that that's so much cooler in my opinion that you're shooting for something not flashy like that.
See, my goal is I was sitting in my room and I was thinking about it. As more and more people my age that are going to be the ones to push the world into this new era of whatever we're going into, they're thinking of more and more different careers, as in the aspects of hair or oh, I want to be a content creator or I want to do this and that. When a lot of the kids our age want to do stuff like that, it brings down a lot of the other jobs that are going to need more and more people as more and more people get older and retire keep to keep it moving. I feel like to going into that field, it's a lot of untouched money that's going to be left there because a lot of people are experiencing and going to different options and a lot more different unique things that are just like really, really new and different now because the world is moving.
I totally
When I say I want to own a chain of shops and stuff like that, my shops aren't just auto repair shops. It's going to be if you need your tire changed, you can get your tire. But if you also need a device on why your water heater isn't working, you can get that too while you're here. I don't only know mechanics. I don't like to limit myself to one skill. I'm not a one-trick pony. I like to know multiple different things and have knowledge in different aspects because who knows how it would have helped me and or affect me in what I'm doing in the real world. So I want to be able to have someone that could be like, oh, um, I'm trying to mount this TV or I need my car fixed too. It's just a whole plethora of things and I have to go to all these different places. No, you can get all of that here in this one place. Basically a Walmart for all your blue collar things.
Let's go. That is sweet. That's something I really never heard of. A lot of the times like the traditional advice to someone that would like that way is you should focus on one and then eventually like once you master that one, then you start branching out. I don't know anything about that field. So, you know, maybe it's right to do that.
it's like a handyman special, but not just handyman because that sounds like it might limit you, but a professional at each task, right? And maybe when you hire specialized and you have enough knowledge and experience to oversee the specialization people.
When I do eventually, because I want to speak it into existence that I will have these things and I will do these things. When I do that, I'm not always going to know every little thing. There's always going to be someone who knows some kind of tip or trick that I don't know, or some kind of something that I'm just not aware of yet. So when I do eventually am able to branch out these different things, I will be able to hire people who want to do more or want to do different things and just try to see the bigger picture or try to branch out more. I'll be able to hire these people to consult on what I'm doing and bring them in.
Now, Jake, did you have these thoughts at all at 18?
No. What I did have, I'm more the day trader thought guy, like that,
The
those
flashy.
guys, the flashy. I
Yeah.
mean, sort of. I was running poker games and fantasy pools and gambling. And as soon as I turned 18, I mean, the apps weren't around yet, but I would like go to the casino in New York that you only have to be 18 and not 21, shit like that. Like that was more my entrepreneurial thought. And I was not thinking business wise. And as you can guess, I had some good days and some terrible days in that world. And I wish I was more boring, more smarter about it when I was younger, like Clinton sounds.
Yeah. It's hard to be more boring at a young age. That's something that, you know, I definitely I was either. You know, when I first got out of college, I was pursuing real estate where I was trying to pass the real estate exam. But then at the same time, I thought I was going to be this like content creator in the fitness world because I was just working out like a madman and I was posting a bunch of stuff. And it just really puts in perspective how much, you know, even though how dead set you could be on something, that it could change, but for the better. And, you know, I'm not saying obviously that is the situation for you. It seems like if you're like, I seriously wasn't actually dead set on that then is what proved that to me. It seems like you are.
Yeah, I mean, your experiences through I didn't even know about this fitness channel you tried to do, and you probably didn't know about my poker and gambling
Yeah,
stuff, but
no.
that has led us to where we are. It
Yeah.
all happens for you to learn from. So Clinton might be on our, episode 1000 in 6 years and be like, "Huh, remember that episode 35 of the More Smarter Show? That was so dumb when I said those things because now I'm governor of New Jersey or whatever he is, and
Yeah.
that's part of the process."
Youngest governor of New Jersey, Clinton, 24 years old.
And has never been to New Jersey.
Let's go.
First time
Yeah.
in there applying for the position.
Yeah.
So Clinton,
That's
on that
it.
note, I mean, I got space in my house. I'm trying to get away from and get a job. I can probably get you one of those too if you're interested in real estate.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. I'm super excited for you. It's like if I could go back and relive those young days, not just for like the fun
Yeah.
of it, but for the anticipation of the rest of the life that you have ahead of you. It's a great time.
Yeah.
So Gary Vee would say that I'm young too. So
Yeah,
I mean
he would.
I agree with you guys. I agree that I'm excited for my future as well. But really,
No, yeah, fair. But yeah, I mean, is there anything else that we would really want to like? Because the way that I'm looking at this episode right now is this is obviously the first of many, as we've talked about, where we're going to be having multiple check-ins with Clinton as your business career and your life kind of moves on. I think we want to capture what the first stage is. So did we do that
Absolutely.
properly? I think as of right now.
Clinton,
Yeah,
what
I
do you
think
think?
we did. Yeah, we did a pretty good job. Touched all bases.
That's
Had
right.
to-
And I think this is February of senior year of high school, which like it's
Yes.
hard to even remember that for myself of what I was thinking and what I was doing. But I think that no matter what you do, we want you on. We obviously support you and we want you on here to talk about it. Even if you change your mind after a year and you're like, you know what, college is for me. There's nothing wrong with that. It's what a lot of people
Of
do.
course.
And we want to hear the experiences, both good and bad, on air. You can also call me privately, and I promise I won't tell you to shut up and wait for airing time to continue talking, unless he gets really good, and then I might.
Jake has a
course.
pretty bad habit of doing that nowadays.
Yeah, Dylan's on it. Dylan was buying a house, and I was like, wait, stop talking. Let's record. Sorry.
No, but it's for the best. You want to capture these because when you're an old man like Jake, you want to be able to look back and hear your 18-year-old self talk about the life that you want to create. So it's so powerful.
That's right.
Of course.
So Clinton, one, no matter how old and big you get, I'd still beat the shit out of you. And two, anything else you want to share as we wrap up here?
No, not necessarily. I think I touched on everything. I did everything though.
Awesome.
Sweet guys. Well, thank you so much. Well, Clinton, thank you so much for coming on, and everyone listening, thanks for watching the More Smarter Show. Like and follow along to the More Smarter Show.
Only if you like it. And last thing, Clinton, that sucks. You have school tomorrow. Haha.
Actually, I don't. I'm off for a week.